Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. So as you can see, I have definitely made some progress on the portrait of Peaches that I shared with you yesterday. Yesterday she was just penciled and inked, and now today she's fully colored in. She is a commission. One of my clients commissioned her as a gift for the fur baby's mom. Peaches unfortunately passed away, so it's in honor of her. And I wanted to share with you before I get started on the next part. We talked about in previous videos how just because something at first glance looks just, a certain color, for instance, an orange tiger cat, there are actually many colors that go into it, and I wanted to give you an idea of that. So bear with me, I'm going to show you just how many Prismacolor pencils, a couple Faber-Castells as well, went into Peach's fur alone. Okay, so while I gather them. Alright, so some of them. That's 5. 10. Ooh. That would have been inconvenient if I hit the drawing board. 15. That purple is actually in her eyes, and so is the cold gray. I think that's it's a 90% cold gray. Oh, dropping pencils. 15. Here's the fun part. You get to see just how much of my pencils I use. Just how small I let my pencils get. 20. And these tiny little nubs that will eventually be used in jewelry making. 24. So that's 24 pencils just in Peaches alone, not including the background at all. And then the amount of pencils that were used on the background. A couple of the colors that were used in Peaches were reused were also used in the background. So, but these specifically were just used on the background. So that's another 10 plus 2 more tiny ones, another 12 pencils. So all that just into there. So when you're doing portraits and things, you have, oh, I think this one escaped the count, but that was also in the background. So, and yes, I meant background, not Peaches. It was used on the floor. You really have to look, because there's so many colors that come together to make your work look more realistic or more interesting, give it more depth. So that's something to keep in mind. The next step for me, she's almost done, is to use a colorless blender pencil, which as you can see has gotten, I use them up. I do have an extender, but sometimes it slips around. So the pencil would just slide down this part, stick the pencil in, voila, and more normal size to work with. And when I start blending, I usually go for the lighter colors and work my way into the, from light to dark, because I don't want the lighter colors to get muddied up. And then after I'm done blending, I usually will set the drawing aside for the rest of the day or evening, depending on how late I work on it, and then look at it with once my eyes have rested, I'll look at it the next day. And any shadows or any other details that might have been kind of lost while blending them, while the blending was being done, I go back over. So my goal is to have this one completed by Friday, and I don't think that's going to be a problem. And it's just a lot of this with the colorless blender pencils, and there are so many different brands of them. I can't remember which brand this one is because it's been sharpened so low, although I think it came in a 2-pack, so let me see if I can find the other one. Is that the same pencil? The answer is no, that's not the same pencil, but here's another one that I have by Koh-i-Noor. They make really great art supplies. Definitely go through a lot of these. And that would be Cal. He hears the neighbors outside getting a little noisy. Now, when I'm blending this, some of the colors, it'll make like a little bit of pencil dust, for lack of a better word. Pencil dust may be exactly what it's called. I don't know, but that's what I call it. But instead of wiping my hand over it, which will just cause some trouble. It's not a good habit to be in. I learned that from personal experience. I take this nifty brush, dust it off. See? I blend these to get rid of the streaks and the lines. See how you can see where the pencil has gone this way and then this way, and there's kind of gaps where you can see in the paper behind it. This makes it look finished to me. This is a smaller portrait. It's 5x7, so I've done 18x24 portraits before that I've had to blend. That was a lot of work. I really like the way that it turned out, but I had a cramp in my arm by the time I was done with it. Sometimes I work straight through with the blending, and other times I'll work for a little bit, get up, take a break. That's important to do too. You don't want to start getting like where you feel rushed, like, oh god, I just want to get this done, and then that's usually when you'll mess up, and then what's the point of doing that? You don't want to mess up something that you've taken so much time on. My dog's up to something. You can hear him in the background. Cal! I always start with the foreground. Well, most of the time I start with the foreground when I'm blending. Sometimes I'll move around to the back, or if there's like a similar color, like here, or the yellow, I might do that, but I don't like to mix up the colors with when they're so different, so I'll usually leave them alone. Just a fun fact, if you're drawing pets, I've noticed from all the animals, I've noticed just from my personal experience, when it comes to cats, their eyes are they're usually about 1.5 spaces apart. So what I mean by that is if you measure the eye Then, so from the caruncle to the outer corner. Fun fact, a caruncle is that little pink bit at the inside corner of your eyes. So, trivia fact, if you're ever on Jeopardy or something, now you know. And then you measure from the very outer edge of that inside corner of the eye. So, tip will be there, and then you mark it again, and that's about 1.5 eyeballs between each other. With dogs, I've noticed that they are, depending on the breed, about 3.5 to 4 eyeball spaces between the two eyes. So, if you decide to take up drawing pets, that bit of information there may help you. Now with Peach's fur, I'll definitely have to go back over and add some details a little bit so she's not quite so smooth. Because it is fur, so you don't want to lose the appearance of texture. Also, when you're blending the fur, pay attention to your reference material because the fur doesn't all grow the same way. Some of it, instead of going down like this, this bit will go up or to the side. And if you just blend it all like that, then it's just a big smooth lump, and no, you don't want to do that. I don't know why. It's just me. I, for some reason, always wait till the last bit to blend the eyes. I don't know why I do that. I don't have a reason for it. It's just the way it always ends up. I save the eyes for last. Another thing to keep in mind, if you're like me and you're in the bad habit of resting your hand on your drawing, be aware of you could have some of that colored pencil dust on your skin, which could also smudge into the rest of your paper or other parts of your drawing. I just realized I was shaking my leg. I hope I haven't been doing that for this whole video. So I'll keep this to 15 minutes today. Yesterday was a little bit short. Still have about another minute left. If you'll notice, I think I mentioned yesterday, when I'm drawing portraits that are smaller than the sheet of paper that I'm working on, I like to have the color past the lines for the medium, median, not a medium, because that way when I cut it down to proper size, there's no gap along the edges, and it would be, a really small line where it hasn't been colored in, but trust me, that will definitely stand out, and you don't want people looking at that. You want them looking at the drawing that you've done on the paper. You can use scissors to cut off the edges, but an X-Acto knife and a metal ruler usually work better. Just keep your fingers out of the way of the blade of the X-Acto knife. Okay, so we're at 15 minutes. See a little bit more of my process for my pet portraits. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with me and watching my videos. I really do appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. And also, if you've enjoyed this video and or any of my others, please share the links to them on your social media. Share them with your friends. Really appreciate that too. I hope you're having a great week. We're halfway through it already. I will be back here tomorrow. Thank you again for spending your time with me. Take care, and I'll see you later, alright? Bye-bye.